look, the reason why I feel like aside from everything I've said so far, where Harry Potter, and make no mistake, Harry Potter was and still to some degree is my comfort franchise as a kid. I don't have the same love for it as I have in the past due to the J.K. Rowling being a fucking turf. But even so, the fact of the matter is that we are unfortunately exist in a world where there are people where you have the conservative right all over the world writing legislation and bills that are seeking to restrict the rights and visibility of a peoples that quite literally are less than 1% of the population. The amount of people that are actually trans in this country are less than 1%. And you have people who in this country who are making moral panics about saying the gays are turning our kids trans or some bullshit like that. And with that, you have a multi-billionaire in J.K. Rowling who has actively chosen to create to donate her astronomical wealth that she has generated from the loving adoration of people all over the world to basically get rid of trans people through like causes and stuff. Like J.K. Rowling literally opened a battered women's shelter explicitly so she could have in the rules no trans people allowed. And that's that's absurd to me. Like that is a level of absurdity that it to me it virtually means like that's just spite. Like that's not you're not gonna help women by doing that shit. And at the end of the day, it's like I would rather play Wizard 101 than Hogwarts Legacy, despite me really wanting to play Hogwarts Legacy, because at the end of the goddamn day, I am a man of my convictions, and while yes I am impulsive and sometimes I lapse, and yes there's no ethical consumption under capitalism, I do have a choice here. And a lot of the fucking trans people that are upset and being angry and allies that are angry on Twitter and on the internet at large, they aren't angry at people who are going to stream the game, who are going to play the game, who are going to buy the game. Like, people that already were willing to deny and devalue their existence were going to do that anyway for the lulz. The problem that they have is people who claim they are allies performatively, and it's shown to be performative because fancy new Wizard game comes out and they refuse to stand by their principles. And it's grotesque, and it's also and frankly it is disgusting. And I also want and also the other funny aspect of this is that it almost feels like and I know that I personally was surprised initially when J.K. Rowling leaned hard into the right wing turfy shit. But one of the things that I do want to remind everybody is, do y'all for who have read the books to ad nauseum like I have, think about it for a second. You have you have a game that is about a goblin rebellion in the 1800s, who are rebelling because they don't like how they're being treated by the wizards. Right? Goblins, by the way, who are just plain anti-Semitic caricatures. It's so blatant, it's absurd. It's and I don't know if you guys remember like what the Harry Potter books, like the main overarching story was. It was about like it was about like over the course of like over the course of the first four books was about a fascist Voldemort's re-rise to power. The fifth book was about how he was working in secret and using dog whistles behind the scenes and in plain sight, doing things to make it so the neoliberal establishment, which is conservative within its own right, falls to him. The sixth book, The Half-Blood Prince, is about him now openly fighting and defying the neoliberal government, and because they were in denial about the entirety of it for the first, for the first year that he was back, they were on the back foot the entire time. Because establishment like go along to get along, and they didn't want to things are nice now. We don't want to we'll pretend that things are okay even though they're not. And then you get to the seventh book when fascism fucking wins, and how easy it is for the average populace to just slot in. Just normal everyday men and women who have known people, who know people. There's a whole scene where Harry, Ron, and Hermione infiltrate the Ministry of Magic under the fascist regime, of a Voldemort puppet. And they literally go have a trial for a Muggle-born who have been accused of stealing magic, which Hermione says is not possible because there wouldn't be any squibs. Squibs being people born without magic. Hey, Dead Bentley, how you doing? And so what we end up, so the funniest part about all of this is, you see, how some people just are completely silent as their colleague who just a year prior they were talking with and had good relationships with and were going to dinner with, and they are as on trial to be sent to prison for a made up crime that again, backed up by evidence, cannot happen. It doesn't happen in the logic of that world. And then J.K. Rowling did a great job of showing the absolute banality of fascism. I'm playing Wizard 101, Bentley. I'm playing if you don't, I'm playing a game. It's a wizard fantasy MMO card game thing. It's a great game, definitely worth a play.
You should just say this is the new
this is the new Harry Potter game. Yeah, this is the new Harry Potter game. And J.K. Rowling did such a good job of explaining the banality and showing the banality in how terrifying, how easy it is for normal people to just put on a patch. And then after the Lord Voldemort falls, how easy it is to take it off and go back to normal. Because at the end of the day, while she shows the descent of a complicit neoliberal government that is okay with oppressing others in terms of non-human magical beings, that is okay with authoritarianism, that is okay with all of these things, but and shows how that she does a great job of showing that step up into that, and yet everything goes back to normal afterwards. The world that they said this the problem here is not they said that the status at the end of the day, J.K. Rowling said that the status quo that caused, the Ministry of Magic to descend into fascist authoritarianism with literal ethnic cleansing, said, oh, she just missed that plain face critique wholeheartedly, and it's just sad because like she gets
No,
there, she gets all the freaking way to up to like the point, and then swerves to the right and completely fucking misses it. That's at the end of the day my biggest fucking problem with J.K. Rowling and the Harry Potter franchise, because there are good lessons there of like what not to be, but but at the same time they're also no good examples of what you should be. You know, I don't know. It's a whole, don't even get me started on Harry and his relationship with money, the Weasleys, the how people are named. It's a whole other thing. But like, I'm such an anti-fascist that is the part about it that disappoints me the most.
Evan.
Yes, dear.